Easter, a time of joy, pastel colors, and family gatherings. But what if I told you that hidden beneath the cheerful egg hunts and smiling faces are stories so dark, so disturbing, they'll make you question everything you thought you knew about this innocent holiday? Forget the bunnies and candy. These aren't tales for children. These are real-life nightmares, true events that happen during what's supposed to be the most wholesome time of year. From mysterious disappearances to terrifying encounters and chilling legends that refuse to die. Tonight, we uncover 3 disturbing true Easter horror stories that will leave you uneasy every time you hear the word Easter. Ready to see the side of the holiday no one talks about? Let's begin. The morning of Easter Sunday, 1993, dawned crisp and bright over the quiet town of Millbrook, Pennsylvania. Cherry blossoms trembled in the breeze, their petals scattering like confetti over the Sanderson family's sprawling backyard. Patricia and Robert Sanderson had spent weeks preparing for their annual egg hunt, dyeing dozens of eggs, stuffing plastic ones with candy, and stringing pastel ribbons along the fence. Their daughter, Marlene, a freckled 7-year-old with a laugh like wind chimes, had insisted on helping, her tiny hands smudged with food coloring as she arranged baskets by the porch. By noon, the yard buzzed with children. Marlene wore her favorite dress, pale yellow with daisy embroidery, and darted between clusters of tulips, her basket already half full. At 3:10 p.m., Patricia handed her a lemonade, tousling her hair. "Stay where we can see you," she said. Marlene nodded, skipping toward a cluster of oak trees at the property's edge. 3 minutes later, she was gone. The panic began quietly. Robert circled the yard, calling her name. Neighbors checked tool sheds and playhouses. By 3:30 p.m., someone phoned the police. The woods behind the property, dense with skeletal early spring undergrowth, became the focus. Officers found Marlene's basket tipped over near a mossy boulder, its pastel contents spilling into the dirt. No tears in her dress snagged on branches, no scuff marks. Just a single yellow hair ribbon caught on a thorn, fluttering like a trapped butterfly. Search dogs traced her scent 200 yards into the forest before losing it abruptly, as if she'd vanished mid-step. Volunteers combed the area for weeks. Flyers papered the town. But Millbrook, a place where doors stayed unlocked and children rode bikes until dusk, had no answers. 15 years later, in October 2008, bow hunter Carl Rigby spotted something pale wedged beneath a rotting log. A child's white patent leather shoe, size 12, its strap still fastened. Lab tests confirmed Marlene's DNA. The discovery reignited the case, but forensic teams found nothing else. No bones, no fibers, no evidence of animal scavenging. Detectives floated theories. A stranger passing through, a family secret, a predator who'd stalked the egg hunt. Yet no suspect emerged. Every Easter, Patricia lights a candle in her daughter's bedroom window. The flame flickers against the glass, casting shadows that twist into shapes some claim resemble a child's hand, pressed as if waving goodbye. The Bunny Man legend is a rite of passage for Clifton, Virginia teens. A campfire tale about a man in a rabbit costume who haunts the railroad underpass on Union Mill Road. Some say he's the ghost of a 1904 asylum escapee. Others swear he's a local recluse. But on Easter weekend 2011, the myth took a visceral turn. Jason Miller and Emily Carter, both 17, decided to film their history project at the bridge. "We thought it'd be ironic," Jason later told police. "Easter, bunnies, all that cheery stuff." They arrived at dusk, the sky streaked with orange. Emily wore dollar store rabbit ears. Jason carried a handheld camera. The bridge loomed ahead, its stone arches choked with ivy. The air smelled of damp soil and diesel from distant traffic. For an hour, they joked about the Bunny Man, reciting rumors. Then, as Jason panned the camera toward the tree line, a twig snapped. Emily froze. "You hear that?" she whispered. The audio picked up ragged breathing, too slow, too deliberate to be the wind. Jason laughed nervously. Probably a raccoon. But the footsteps began seconds later, heavy, uneven thuds crunching through dead leaves. Emily's smile faded. "This isn't funny," she said, glancing at Jason. Neither had brought a friend. The voice, when it came, was guttural. "Get out!" They ran. Emily's ears slipped off as she stumbled, but when she turned to grab them, she saw him. A gaunt figure in a moth-eaten bunny suit, its once white fabric stained brown. His mask was askew, revealing a sliver of stubbled jaw. In one gloved hand, he gripped a hatchet, its blade flecked with rust. The teen sprinted half a mile to a gas station, sobbing. Police found fresh footprints at the bridge and a dead rabbit nailed to a tree, its paws arranged in a wave. Yet no tracks led deeper into the woods. The hatchet man dissolved into the twilight. Though the case was closed as a prank, locals noted eerie parallels. In 1976, a man in a rabbit costume reportedly attacked couples parked near the bridge with an axe. No one was ever caught. Jason and Emily still startle at the sound of footsteps behind them. "He didn't chase us," Emily admitted later. "He just watched, like he knew we'd be back." St. Ignatius Church in Harlan County, Kentucky, stood abandoned for 60 years, its limestone walls blackened by coal dust. When Pastor Roy Bennett spearheaded its restoration in 2003, the community rejoiced. The 2004 Easter egg hunt was meant to be a rebirth, a symbol of hope. The day began idyllically. Sunlight streamed through newly repaired stained glass, dappling the pews with sapphire and ruby light. Children giggled as they scrambled for eggs hidden among hymnals and donation boxes. But by noon, 4-year-old Tommy Greer tugged his mother's sleeve. "Who's that lady?" he asked, pointing to the altar. There was no one there. Others felt it too, a chill near the pulpit, whispers beneath the floorboards. 12-year-old Lydia Mason claimed a woman in a long black dress followed her into the confessional. Parents dismissed it as overstimulation, but the mood shifted. Birds stopped singing outside. The scent of smoke seeped into the air, though no fires burned. That night, the nightmares began. Melissa Carter, 33, dreamed she was trapped in a blazing church, her screams muffled by flames. "I could feel the heat," she said. "I woke up with blisters on my hands." Another attendee, elderly George Haskins, saw the woman in black standing at the foot of his bed. "She pointed to the floor," he said, "like she wanted me to dig." Pastor Bennett, skeptical but unsettled, investigated the church's history. Behind a crumbling brick in the vestry, he found a 19th century ledger. The final entry, dated October 31st, 1897, detailed the trial of Mary Whitlow, a midwife accused of witchcraft after a rash of stillbirths. Townsfolk locked her inside St. Ignatius and set it ablaze. "God will forgive us," the pastor had scrawled. The church closed its doors weeks later. Vandals report hearing knocks from within the walls, and on quiet nights, the shadow of a woman flickers in the boarded-up windows. Pastor Bennett refuses to speak of it, but locals know. Mary Whitlow's rebirth wasn't metaphorical. So next time you celebrate Easter, while you're unwrapping chocolate eggs or hiding colorful treats, remember these stories. Not every Easter tale ends with joy. Sometimes beneath the surface of tradition and festivity, darkness lingers. These true horror stories remind us that evil doesn't take holidays off.